We are going to start out with, first of all, I'd like to mention that last week on our show, we had Patrick White on talking about CRFT, and that is a conglomerate or a consortium of theater. And in the back of the shirt lists all the theaters in our area. There are around 100 theaters in our area, and these are the list of theaters that have come together and are going to be working together to promote theater in our area. And we're talking not just Albany, Schenectady, and Troy, but we're talking about areas like Great Barrington and also Bridge Street, which is down in the Catskill. And we have Bridge Street on the show today, so we're going to be talking with them. And I thought it was a segue. How's that work?
That was great.
We are some of Bridge Street.
That's right. Yeah. We are some of them.
Yes. Yeah, some of them. Yeah. I know that Steve was going to be here, and of course he couldn't make it because he's on the road. I guess he's somewhere. He's somewhere else.
Stephen and John are actually had to drive to Southern California because
they're driving.
They drove. Long story, but it was a pre-planned trip. But his sister lives in Altadena. So he had to drive basically right up to her home after her home was okay, but the church where she's a minister has burned to
Well,
the
I
ground.
know
It's
that he was
crazy.
very concerned about
Yeah.
that. I was on, I guess on email, and he was saying he's very concerned about his sister, but she was going to be okay.
She's okay, and all her parishioners are okay, but it's a really, so John and Stephen
Her
both
home
drove out.
is gone, or
her home is okay.
So that's what I thought he said, but
Yeah.
the church was the problem.
It went all the way to the ground, burnt, done. And
You know,
so obviously
we
her whole
don't
parish
realize
is,
we talk about, oh gosh, they're out of such and such in the market. Oh, what am I going to do? And you think none of that is important.
right.
Because you've got people that are suffering in California with the fires, and I understand the fires are still going. Is that correct?
I don't know the answer to that. The last I saw, some of them were contained, but I'm not the
Well, they said the high winds were the problem.
Right.
It kept, because it can jump even a road.
Right.
And catch a tree over here. And
Right.
so, yeah, terrible. So he's driving there rather than flying.
Stephen and John drove out together. So Stephen and John are our founders, and
they're great guys too. They're
speaking
really
of segues.
Yes, they founded the theater over a decade ago.
Yes, they're great guys. I just love
Yeah.
talking to
And
them.
we're here so that they can go drive
drive a car
to places
across
where
the
buildings
country.
are burning at the moment.
That's
So,
right.
Yeah,
it's a very
a drive is a long time, because I've driven to the Midwest, and it's like, that's a long drive.
Yeah, and they didn't drive both ways. They just drove out to take a car out there to some family member, and then they're
just
flying back.
Oh, they're
Yes.
delivering a
Yes,
car.
yes. But they
Gotcha.
totally sent their greetings, and they said, "Oh, this is great. You got to go up." So we're happy to be here representing the theater.
And we gave you a big shout out for
Thank you.
CRFT. Yeah,
CRFT is fantastic.
Yes.
We're happy to be
Yes.
part of it.
He's doing a great job. When
Yeah.
he told me there were over 100 theater groups in the area, and I'm going, oh, goodness. I can't count 100, but then he says, well, take a look at the back of the shirt.
It's all right there.
And it's all right there. And I says,
It's
and I knew
publicly
you guys were
accessible.
coming, and I said, is Bridge Street on there? Oh, yes, he says, Bridge Street's right on there. And I said,
That's nice.
they are.
That's right.
They are right there, and they're right up there with Bunbury and Bridge Street and Blues Roses and Broadway,
Yeah.
so you're all there. Yeah, so that's great. So, Carmen,
Yes,
you like music, huh?
sure.
Tell me what your piece is. I mean, tell me what you're part of with the music.
Well, I started at Bridge Street Theater about a year ago. I am either multi-talented or I have trouble focusing.
I like the trouble focusing. That
Yeah, why
works
not
Good.
both? Why
So,
not?
Yeah,
my
too, because
initial-
that's me. Like, I'm going from here to here, but I get it all done.
There you go.
We'll get along very well.
Yeah, I know.
So in the past year, I've designed some scenery for them. I built puppets for Little Shop, and we had a real blast.
Oh, you did the Little Shop of Horrors. I remember talking to him about that. Oh my gosh.
And I
Where
built-
did you get Audrey? Was it Audrey?
I built her.
He built it.
You built Audrey.
Yeah.
I built them all. Yep.
Okay.
And that was fun to do. I like making stuff. And so I like to build things. I did the set for Uncle Vanya, and I even got to direct Discord, which was the last show
Oh,
we
you did that too, yeah.
in November. So
So you are multi-talented.
I have all kinds of problems. And so this summer in July, we're going to do I think we can justifiably call it a premiere of a musical that I wrote a number of years ago called South, a nautical musical.
Okay,
and
I
that's in
think
the
we have
middle
a
of our
picture of that
season.
too. We're going to be talking about some of the plays.
And
Yeah,
I want to tell you about the other shows. We can't pick it all up
we'll
for
do that
South.
after, but let's
So, okay,
focus
good.
on South here.
Good.
Okay.
So we'll focus on South. So it's a nautical musical. It's set in the Caribbean.
Naughty? Did you say naughty?
Nautical.
Nautical.
Nautical. No.
Nudge, nudge,
Maybe
wink,
a little
wink.
naughty, but mostly nautical.
It's not a kid's musical. I wouldn't say. I mean, you know, when I was writing it, I really was striving for achieving great literature, and
Oh,
so
yeah,
as
yeah.
far as I'm concerned, it is the musical incarnation of Moby Dick. But
Well, there you go.
what I've been told
Except
from
it's
people
a whale
who've
of a
actually
show,
heard it is
Except super fun.
there's well, that's what I
With some
get
real
back is
knee-slapping
what I get
tunes.
back is, oh, that's really fun. I like all these songs. They're super hummable.
Yeah.
It's a really lovely story about a sailor's search for his mother.
Now, you wrote all the music?
I wrote the music. I created the
lyrics?
story, the whole banana.
You did. How long
Yes.
did it take you to do it?
A while. Yeah, quite a while actually.
About as long as it took them to get Moby Dick, I think. Right? It took
Moby
a
Dick
while.
happened kind of fast, as I understand it. Well, Melville was unemployed the whole time.
It's
I
been
probably
over
spent,
years. I would say
probably
over
spent
years.
12 or 15 years writing
Yeah.
the first iteration of it that we did in 2009, and we did it just as a showcase at a place called Dixon Place in New York City.
I should point out, by the way, we are married. I should have pointed that out. We are not just colleagues, we are married. So I was there for all of it. So when I jump in and go, it's been 15 years, it's because I remember it was
Yeah.
15 years.
So
That may not have been
let her
obvious.
fill in the blanks.
May not have been obvious.
I am the blanks. She is filling it in.
I'm like
so.
this guy. Go
Yep.
ahead.
And then during COVID, I did a re-record of it. We had
Right.
done a reading of an slightly older version of several years ago at Bridge Street. But during COVID, I worked up a complete audio version of it, so we have a whole roadmap of the show.
Oh, okay.
And we were all looking at it, and we thought, well, this is fun. Let's just do the show. So we're going to do a full staging of it. There's
It's called South.
South.
Why that name?
You know, it kind of relates to a person he doesn't really know where he's going. So it's just,
Well, where does it take place, though?
well, it takes place in the Caribbean.
Oh, all right. Well, there
But
we
he's
go.
always going south. The ship is always sinking. He's always
Okay.
traveling. He's never quite getting to where he's going.
When you
It's-
talk about a business, you say it's going south. It means not so
Well,
good.
it's a little bit of that. Yeah, yes.
Could mean
yes,
that,
yes.
or maybe you started out in the north and the south looks better, than the north does, as sometimes happens.
Okay, so you're going to play a piece from it, is it?
I'll play you a little hunk of a
Yeah.
song.
Oh, please
Yep,
do,
yep.
because I want to. Do you sing along with it?
It's the only way.
What are you playing?
This is a ukulele.
Okay, is that like a mandolin or what?
This is not a mandolin. A mandolin has 8 strings.
Okay.
And is tuned similarly to a violin.
Oh,
this has
really?
4 strings
Okay,
and is tuned somewhat similarly to a guitar.
okay.
So it's kind of got that kind
How
of
long
vibe.
you been playing that?
I think I played out first time with ukulele probably 1986.
Okay, yeah, that was
Yeah, a
38
long
years
time
ago, right? Something like that?
Yeah, a long time ago.
That was before me. That was, yeah.
That was
That was his
I can't
first. That
add.
was his first love.
That's right. That's right.
if she'd come along earlier, she might have put the kibosh on.
Oh, no, I love
Okay,
it.
so you're
No.
going to play. What's the name of the song?
This song it's called the Pirate Song.
Okay.
And this song is
And of course they're pirates, because you have
they're
to.
pirates, and the pirates their thing is they sing, and they sing.
They're
and they-
happy pirates.
They're happy. They're also murderers and criminals. So
Okay.
they sing while they murder and they're criminal.
Arr.
Yeah, so, yes, feel free to.
All that. So I'll play you. I won't play the whole song. I'll
Yeah,
play
go
you a
ahead,
little
play
bit
the
of
whole
it.
song. We got time.
Play the whole song. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
If I could choose the perfect life from all that I could be, I'd want to be a pirate and sail the 7 seas. I'd drink the draught of life as if it were my final cup. I'd pillage, plunder, rob, and loot, naked from the scabbard up. So curse the world we're born to and watch the setting sun. Let's hope tomorrow never comes.
Ahoy! Aye.
We'll take any man who fights us and make 'em all go swimming. We'll pee out your pantry and we'll ravish all your women. If you survive, then say a prayer, we'll never meet anon. For pirates ravage any ship that they come upon. So if you see us coming, you better start to run and hope tomorrow never comes. We're pirates and we love it. It makes you want to laugh. We're vulgar and we're filthy, cause we never had a bath. To do precisely as you please is like a gift from heaven. The Lord appears to love us, even as we curse him. And if you don't believe us, you can kiss our raunchy bums. Let's hope tomorrow never comes. This is the singing part. Let's hope tomorrow never comes. Let's hope tomorrow never comes.
Oh man, that's great. Makes me want to see that musical. Oh my
Good.
goodness.
We wanted to come see it, and
Are
then
you
we'll be-
are you going to be in it, or are you going to direct
I'm
it?
going to be doing. I'll be at least music directing. I would presume I will be a pirate. So yeah,
I
we need
have
lot
a
of-
feeling that you
Yeah.
make a very good pirate.
The thing about pirates, there's never just one.
Yeah,
That's right.
no, that's true. But you got to do something. Don't you have to have a hook on your hand or
Oh,
something?
yeah, you got to at least have an eye.
Just the captain, a hook, maybe a parrot. Every
Three-corner
parrot.
hat,
You gotta have a
three-corner
parrot
hat.
on your
Oh,
shoulder.
yeah.
there will be a careful curation of the
We'll work on that. I
stereotypes.
should make a note
Sure.
about that. Get the parrot on his shoulder. Absolutely.
The trouble with that, I know from past productions of other types of shows, is the parrot falls off if you don't have it fastened just right.
It's got to be, and then it goes boom.
Yeah,
you know,
then-
and then you're
Yes,
walking
right, right,
around
and then
with a
you get a
parrot
whole-
on your.
That's not a parrot, that's an epaulet.
And
That's
then there's a
what it
whole
is.
Peter Sellers situation. Yeah, an inadvertent comedy. Yeah.
Exactly, or Monty Python.
Yes,
one of
no,
those.
no.
He's just pining for the fjords.
That's right. Yes.
Okay, so I know we got Raymond, we got the slides, so let's put up the slides kind of, and you'll have to talk about them. You can watch them
great.
there.
Yep.
And leave them up while they can talk about each production. So there we go. Okay, there's the first ones. Okay, what are we looking at?
All right, so Ghost Dance, we're our first, so our program is what we're seeing. We're seeing the three there.
Well, because I had to fit them in there, so you just have to excuse me.
So we've got a few shows up there that are part of our Solo Fest in March. We have Bent Compass featuring Neil Brookshire. He'll be solo performer. It's an Army veterans trip through getting into the service, doing a tour of duty, the
Okay.
whole 9 yards. We have a second play. Let's see, that one is not up there. Let's see, I'm seeing Ghost Dance, Pictures of a Madman.
Okay.
There's a painter, historical painter, Ralph Albert Blakelock, who was part of the Hudson River Valley School of Painting. And this is a performance by his granddaughter, Erica Knight.
Okay.
And she will be
I don't know
telling-
which slides are up there. I think we're flipping them around.
Let's see,
now.
we have,
So
so
there's
Bent
Bent
Compass
Compass.
If we
is
just
there.
leave them there for a minute, so
Yeah,
we
you can hang them there. Okay, yeah, Bent Compass. So that was the first one I talked about. Ghost Dance was up before. O Time is another piece we
What's
have.
the DFT
DTF
or DTF? I'm sorry.
is,
A little dyslexic here.
hold on.
right.
You know what? I didn't write that one. Muslim Girls DTF.
Oh, yes, they're coming up on the very first weekend of March. We have 4 Muslim women who are stand-up comedians coming up from the city, I believe, if that's...
Oh wow, that
Oh,
would
it's
be
going to
cool.
be wonderful.
They're very excited.
They're incredibly funny and interesting. Just
Yeah,
they're great.
it's going to be great.
You just
one,
want to be
that's
in a
one
room with them.
performance, first weekend of March.
Yeah. Okay. So what are some of the other ones?
So let's go to the season, maybe, I think. If we could go
Give
to
me
our
one
main
more out of
season.
here.
Oh, yeah.
I want to make sure I'm getting everything. O Time, Davis Zelnick, also is part of our Solo Fest in March, so we'll have a week of him.
Right.
Story of research about a Brazilian artist who had been incarcerated and sort of the realizations that come from that. And then
So it's a serious play, yeah.
Yeah.
Help, I'm Trapped in a One-Woman Show.
Yeah, I saw
A
that.
feeling many of us have had. That will be Kate Skinner.
And she's been all over Broadway and done, her resume is literally pages and
So
pages long. Yeah.
they really embrace Bridge Street.
Yes, and it's nice because it's just a three show run for each of them on each weekend in March.
Yeah.
So it's a chance for them to get a show sometimes up on its feet. And we have an 84-seat theater, so it's a very intimate. There are no bad seats in our theater. We can, everybody
Right.
gets a wonderful experience in a room like that.
Yeah.
And we got 4 wonderful performers in a row, and the tickets are not so expensive, so it's it's a good time to come see someone you might not be able to see any
And
other
you
way.
have your own theater, the Bridge Street Theater. I
Yes,
think
it's
he bought the building
it's an 84,
a while back.
84
yeah.
seat theater. We built
And
it
he
out.
said they worked hard at getting it in
Yeah,
place.
10 years ago, it was just a big industrial building, and we went to the state and got a grant for an 84-seat theater, and
Oh,
it's
you got a
beautiful.
grant? Oh,
yeah,
great,
it's
yeah.
a beautiful setting. It really is, yeah. We're
Well,
very proud of it.
yeah, Alison.
Yeah.
To me, it's what they've done is amazing. They are a great couple of guys. They just are so dedicated
Yeah.
in what they do, and to see, that they've got you and Carmen here help to work on this as well. So
Thank you,
this is amazing. I know that. So this is the season that's going to be coming up. When does that start?
Well, the Solo Fest is just in March, but we
Okay.
also have a 2025 season of 5 plays.
That starts in April.
That
in
starts
April.
in April.
So you start your season in April.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly, yeah.
The first one, Polishing Shakespeare, written by Brian Dykstra.
I used the Shakespeare picture
Play it.
because I didn't have another one to use. So
It's a wonderful parody adaptation of Shakespeare-like vibe as some intrepid actors of varying social and ethnological origins attempt to get a grant for their play.
Oh, okay. All
so
right, all right.
there's
And it's
there's-
written in verse.
It's
so
written in
that's
It's
verse.
written
Yes,
in
yes.
It's going to be very
iambic
funny.
pentameter
Yes,
or whatever
it's
it is.
written in verse.
I
yes,
know our own
yes.
Stephen Patterson. We're not fully cast on everything, but our own Stephen Patterson will be in it, and he's already
Amazing at that
memorizing
kind of
lines.
stuff.
Is
Yeah.
he? Well,
Yeah.
he could probably do
He's
that.
a
yeah.
wordsmith. Yeah.
Our second play, next play, will be Mary Jane, written by Amy Herzog, and it's a very intimate and difficult picture of the life of a woman raising a disabled child.
Oh, okay.
And it's
in a
snapshots.
very small apartment in Queens, New York. I mean, it really is very much in a place that's very
Tight.
and she's up against all the pressures of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a play that'll cover the emotional journey of that, and
And who wrote that?
Amy Herzog.
Okay.
And then we have the musical that happens in the middle in July. After that, we have a play called Red Like Fruit, which is written by Hannah Moscovich. And it is, I would call it a fairly searing portrait of, it's sort of an examination of domestic violence and who gets to speak for whom.
Yeah.
And it only
in
has
this
2
world.
characters in it.
It's just 2 characters. That one, I would say, if you're looking for intensity, if you like the hot
That's
sauce
the
just
one.
right out of the bottle,
Yeah.
go for that one.
Yeah.
Mary Jane also. And then we'll be wrapping up the season in November with On Golden Pond by Ernest Thompson.
Yeah. Actually, that's being done now, I think, somewhere.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you always run into the problem, can you get the rights to it,
Yeah,
when you're based on,
yes.
because I was with the Schenectady Civic Players, and we had
Yeah.
a lineup, and 2 of the plays that we lined up, we couldn't do because somebody was doing it within a 50
In the-
or
in the
100
area.
mile or whatever.
Right.
I don't know what their criteria
Right,
is.
and I know with Mary Jane, John and Stephen were waiting for many years, for 3 or 4 years, because it was being done in New York City, and they had
Okay.
to wait until that kind of finished.
Yeah,
up.
I mean, and I don't think people realize that just because you want to do a play doesn't mean you can do a play.
Right.
Because of it has to do with area, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and you're
It's
close
all
to New York
kinds of
City.
things.
Yeah.
If it were going to come out as a film, they don't
Oh,
want
is that
other
right?
things, or
Depends.
it's
yeah.
all, well, someone owns it and they have control of the copyright and they have their own marketing, and it's almost the best you can hope for is sometimes maybe people have forgotten about the play, or it's kind of,
Yeah.
but the thing about John and Stephen that's really cool is, like, if they see, they don't, I'm not a play guy. Like, if I had to book the plays, I wouldn't know where to start, but they stock them for years. They're like, oh, we really want to show people this. We really want to do this. And so they're waiting for opportunities, and
Yeah.
sometimes the thing ripens, and we have a little theater. We want to do the most adventurous stuff we can.
Right,
But
right.
that's
The
why we end up
space that's
doing
available, yeah.
Right, and that's the
premieres
thing.
of musicals and
Right.
things like that. So
And I would say
everything,
in our building, we're trying to get more going on in the building. So the first 10 years they established it. They were sort of out in the Wild West trying to figure this out themselves. And now the board, we're not for profit, the board and the staff, we're trying to look into the next 10 years and figure out what that can look like.
Yeah.
And we want more.
Maybe you have a folk festival or
Yes,
something.
exactly.
You could do that,
Well, we've
yeah.
got we do have a Bob Dylan cover band coming in.
Oh,
Called
I thought you meant him. No.
He's friends with these guys. Actually, that's how we got them.
They
They're-
promised I could play ukulele. ukulele on a song.
That's right. Did they really?
Yeah.
Oh, good. That's fantastic.
He's lying, but that's it.
Well, those guys are called the Complete Unknowns. Before the movie came out, they have been called that
They've
for many
been
years.
unknown for years,
They've been
so
unknown for
yeah.
years. And so we're trying to bring more music in, we do magic shows, we have dance residencies, so we're really trying to appeal to a broader
Well,
base.
you're going to be a cultural arts center.
That's really what it's becoming, and that's,
Yeah.
I think, the vision of our board now is to move
Good
ahead
for
in that
them.
way. Yeah,
Good for
because
them.
the community now understands what they're trying to do there, and really, John and Stephen were very brave early on. They said, well, this is what we're trying to
We're
do.
going to dive in and
Yeah.
see, what does it say? We're going to run up the flagpole, see if
And see how,
anybody's...
see if anybody salutes, and they did. Yeah, exactly.
Good,
Yeah,
good.
so we're glad about that.
Well, please give them my regards, and I
We
hope they
will.
get home safely. Well, they're flying back, so
That's right.
they're not going to run into any flat tires. So
No, we're picking them up
hopefully-
tomorrow.
hopefully.
Picking them up at Amtrak tomorrow, so we'll get them back,
Oh,
back
Fingers
home
crossed.
safe and sound.
They're
Yeah.
going to be fine.
Great.
But we'll
yeah.
send your
So
regards.
please give them my regards.
Oh
yeah,
yes, and
yeah.
thank you so much for this time and this opportunity for us.
Yeah, yeah, and,
Yeah, thank you.
and
Really
I
wonderful.
love the song,
Well, thank you
Mr.
so
Pirate.
much.
Arr.
There's 19 other songs to go with it.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
yeah.
I'm marking it down.
Good.
All right,
good.
July.
I do.
July.
I want to come see it. I
Excellent.
really do. I want
have
to
you
see.
there.
I got to see him
Good.
with a parrot on his shoulder.
So it's going to be bridgest.org is our website.
Yep, we
and
had that up on the
We're
screen.
about to put the ticket links up. Probably next week, tickets will go on sale,
Great.
including subscriptions. Just
Good,
wanted to
good.
put that in
Thank you
there.
both
All
for
right.
being here, Allison and
Thank you.
Carmen. Thank
Thank
you
you
both
so
for
much.
being
Thank
here.
you.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank
Yeah,
you very
enjoyed
much.
it.